personality of Lord Chaitanya, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This transcendental Lord Chaitanya will cleanse the dirty things of the mind. It doesn't matter what he is. This transcendental vibration is equally appealing to everyone without any question of language, nationality, creed or caste, because it is coming forth from the depth of the soul. This simple vibration can deliver the people of this age to salvation. Human life is meant for getting out of the threefold miseries of this material existence and forgetting their life's aim. They have become too much materialistic, and the result is that actually they haven't got that peace and of mind or peace of the world which they are anchoring. And if they take to these chanting, transcendental vibration, their mind, the dirtiness of the mind will be cleared, and they can clearly see their actual identity as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, or Krishna, and dovetailing their activities in that relationship, everything will be sublime.
I think how we're different from drug people also is to realize that God is here and in my heart and all over all the time, but we're realizing this consciously. To know these things consciously, not just to accept it once and then enjoy. To know this moment to moment.
Well, I've only tried marijuana, but I've never taken anything else. You might say I was fortunate enough to have my self-realizations and other changes without drugs.
Perhaps Leary and some of the drug followers, they are functioning high on a low level, and we are functioning high, and we are functioning low on a high level.
Feel so strongly that mantra is the answer to the turmoil and the disconnect between people's hearts and their external lives.
I made close to $170,000 in my first year. Over time, it became clear to me that money doesn't really buy happiness, doesn't really buy true love. I tried to bring a certain element of humanity in a place that was all about money.
Eco Valley Foundation is mainly dealing with environmental, economic, and social sustainability.
I felt like I wanted to come back and teach in the Gurukul because I had such a nice experience here. All my friends grew up here. We all grew up as one big family, one big community.
There's no satisfaction greater than being an instrument of God's grace to people in need on all levels. We're grateful to these children that they allow us the highest privilege of serving them and being blessed by doing so.
Composition of the community is worldwide, and we're all here for the same purpose, to develop our own spiritual lives.
You go on the playground here and you're going to see, a Russian kid, a Chinese kid, an Aussie, a Bengali. They have this unity.
We should be always having a divine party at every moment of our lives, everywhere we go.
We want to see everyone happy. श्री गोवर्धन पादपतले कालिन्निबाने कुतः घोषन्ताविति सर्वतो ब्रजपुरे खेदै महाविभलौ वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुजगं श्रीजीव गोपालकं वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुजगं श्रीजीव गोपालकं कृष्ण कीर्तन गानन तन परं प्रेमामृतं वनिधि धीराधीर जनप्रिय प्रियकरौ निर्मत्सरौ पूजितौ श्रीचैतन्य कृपाभनौ भुवि भुव तारकौ वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुजगं श्रीजीव गोपालकौ कृष्ण कीर्तन गानन तन परं प्रेमामृतं वनिधि धीराधीर जन प्रियं प्रियकरं निर्मत्सरं पूजितौ कृष्ण कीर्तन गानन तन परं प्रेमामृतं वनिधि कृष्ण कीर्तन गानन तन परं प्रेमामृतं उजत कोकिल हंस सार सुगन कीर्न मयूराकुले नाना रत्न निबद्ध मूल बिटप श्रीयुक्त वृंदावनी राधा कृष्ण महन्निसं प्रभजतौ जीवार्थदौ जौबुदा वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुजगं श्रीजीव गोपालकं कृष्ण कीर्तन गान नर्तन परं प्रेमामृतांबनिधि धीराधीर जनप्रियं प्रियकरं निर्मत्सरं पूजितं शङ्खापूर्वक नामगाननतिभिः कृष्ण कीर्तन गानन तन परं प्रेमामृतांबनिधि धीरा धीर जनप्रियं प्रियकरं निर्मत्सरं पूजितं नाना शास्त्र विचारणैक निपुणं सद्धर्म संस्थापकं लोकानां हितकारिणं त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरण्याकरं नाना शास्त्र विचारणैक Sri Radha Krishna Bhog Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giri Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Guru Dwarka Dham Ki Jai, Swami Bhaktivind Ki Jai, all glories to that. All glories to that. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
And Pranam, please accept my humble obeisances.
Jai Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
Yes, you're welcome, Prabhu. So, please, devotees a little bit late today. We have about 3 of us on the platform. Please, we can start and the devotee will come and join more later.
Okay. How long do we go for?
1 hour, Prabhu.
1 hour. So it's 5 o'clock for me until 6 then.
Yes, Prabhu. In case the devotee become more enthusiastic to ask questions, I don't know if you can give them some time.
Okay. Now I can hear you. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you just said.
I say in case the devotee become enthusiastic after hearing your lecture, then maybe they may ask more questions. I don't know. It depends on how long you have, how much time you have.
Okay. I want to see who's on. And I see you show the verse up on the screen. That's nice.
Okay, I should stop that for now.
Yeah, let me just see who's on. We got a little bit before we get started.
Okay, Prabhu.
I see Kushadas. Hare Krishna Kushadas. And Ganga Prasad Das. Greg. Hare Krishna Ganga Prasad. Hare Bol. And so where are you all in? South Africa or?
No, I'm from Nigeria.
Okay.
And most of the devotees here now, they are all from Nigeria. More devotees from Ghana and other West African countries will be joining later.
Okay. Nigeria. What's the language in Nigeria? Is it Swahili?
No. We have 3 major languages, but English is our official language.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You have a friend. Let's see. Anyway, yeah. Now he was from Kenya. Kenya, that's where they speak Swahili. Is that right?
Yes, Swahili in Kenya and in South Africa and some part of Africa. But in West Africa, you have more of Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. You have in Ghana also you have Twi and many languages like that.
All right. I want to go to your country sometime. I hear it's beautiful there.
Maybe after the lockdown, please, you are free to come.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
All right. And there's Giridhari Puja Devi Dasi. You're the one that's been sending me all these notes. Thank you. And where are you based, Giridhari? You're muted, right?
Yeah, unmute yourself, Giridhari. Yes, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I'm currently in Mumbai.
One more time. I didn't hear you.
She said she's in India now, but she's from Nigeria.
I'm currently in Mumbai, India.
Mumbai. Oh, okay. All right. What fun.
And she's the daughter of Ganga Prasad Prabhu.
She is
the daughter of
Ganga
Prasad. Yes, yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool. Okay. Well, I wish my son was here with me to join the call. He's staying with some friends. His name is Mukunda, and everywhere he goes, when people see his name, they think he's from Africa. He says, "Why'd you give me that name?" Okay, so shall we start?
Yes, Prabhu, we can start, Prabhu.
All right. So first of all, I want to say, watching Prabhupada singing Jai Radha Madhava on the screen, that was in Los Angeles. That was the only time I got to see Prabhupada, was in Los Angeles in 1976. I had joined just about 6 months before, and that was like one of the things I remember watching him playing the kartals, how he just did it like so artistically, and sang Jai Radha Madhava, and then also watching him paying obeisances in front of the deities. He would bow down, and it was just so, every move seemed so deliberate. Then he got all the way down, did dandavats, then slowly, carefully got back up again. So yeah, it's always nice to see that video. Okay, so we'll begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate. Oh, sorry, you can say it. Will be muted.
Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah, I know with the recitation repeating on Zoom, it doesn't always work out. There's usually a delay. Do we say the verse together? How does that usually go? Or should I?
Zoom, you are just,
I'll just recite it myself.
You have to say it. We'll be saying behind the mic.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
I'll just recite it. Prayujyamane maitan shudham bhagavatim tanum arabdha karma nirvano yapatat pancha bhautika. Having been awarded a transcendental body befitting an associate of the personality of Godhead, I quit the body made of 5 elements, and thus all required fruitive results, all acquired fruitive results of work, karma, stopped. Now we'll do I'll read the translation again, and then we'll do the synonyms. That way we'll get a little more meaning from the Sanskrit. Having been awarded a transcendental body befitting an associate of the personality of Godhead, I quit the body made of 5 material elements, and thus all acquired fruitive results of work, karma, stopped. So the first line of the Sanskrit, prayujyamane mayitam, prayujyamane, having been awarded, mayi, on me, tam, that, shudham bhagavatim tanum, shudham, transcendental, bhagavatim, fit for associating with the personality of Godhead, tanum, body, arabdha karma nirvana, arabdha, acquired, karma, fruit of work, nirvana, prohibitive, Nyapatat panchabhotika, quit, panchabhotika, body made of 5 elements. So I think that nyapatat, quit, applies to the, let me move this. Nyapatat, quit, applies also to the arabdha, karma, nirvana. So the all of the karma which is prohibitive, Prabhupada's going to talk about that in the purport. Karma was, he quit that, he left that behind. And I think he talks about 3 things, and I was wondering where he got those from, and here it is. He gets free from the body of karma and the restrictions, nirvana. Usually nirvana means something else, but here it means prohibitive, Panchabhotika, and the body made of 5 material elements. Translation again. Having been awarded a transcendental body befitting an associate of the personality of Godhead, I quit the body made of 5 material elements, and thus all acquired fruitive results of work, karma, stopped. And I assume everyone knows the storyline that this is Narada after his journey as a child, coming to a place, engaging in meditation, and very quickly seeing Krishna within his heart and experiencing a very high form of ecstasy, which Prabhupada describes in the purport. He says it's very difficult to describe this wonderful feeling when a devotee contacts the Lord. The feeling that he gets cannot be expressed in words, and yet Narada Muni tries to give some expression to it here. Then he very quickly loses that and he struggles to get it back, but he's not able to. And Prabhupada talks about how when we try to find Krishna, it's up to Krishna whether to reveal himself to us. Our duty is to try, and then we leave it up to Krishna. But our duty is just to sit outside Krishna's door. Prabhupada doesn't say sit outside the door, but Satchidananda Swami gives a talk about that, going through the 3 doorways of passing through, getting our body sitting there chanting japa, getting our mouth to move and chant the words, and then getting our mind to calm down, just listen to the mantra. And so you pass through those 2 doors, and then you sit at the 3rd door and you just wait. That's the door where Krishna operates that door. So when he feels like it, he opens it up and says, here you go. Now you can see me. Now you can experience me. And we all get a little glimpse of that. Krishna opens that door once in a while. And our duty is just to make it through those first 2 gateways and sit and wait patiently for Krishna. So for that, we need enthusiasm and we need patience. 2 things that seem so opposite of each other. It's a paradox. How to be enthusiastic and also patient, and how to be patient while at the same time being enthusiastic. So Narada is now explaining how he spent his life always trying to recapture that. But he heard the voice of the Lord, who said, oh good, I get to see everybody now. He said that you can, I've shown myself to you only to increase your enthusiasm to see me. One cannot see me without that enthusiasm, and that enthusiasm will purify you the rest of the way. So he spends his whole life trying to find Krishna again. Actually, how does he say that? He says he spent his whole life completely fulfilled. There are 3 things: completely fulfilled, unenvious of others, and one more thing. Let's see if anybody in our panel of experts remembers. You can raise your hand if you do. There are 3 things. I want to hear from you guys. This is an interactive class. You can look back on the previous verses if you want. There are 3 things, and it was really cool. I think it was humble. Humble, completely fulfilled, and not envious of others. So usually when you're completely fulfilled, you're going to be a little bit proud. So again, there's this paradox thing, and we see many paradoxes in the practice of Krishna consciousness. Paradox gives you balance when you try to hold on to both sides of the paradox. Now you can see me. I got both arms out. One side, I'm completely fulfilled. The other side, I'm humble. Usually if you're completely fulfilled, you look at other people and say, those people, they're not completely fulfilled. What a bunch of losers. But when you're completely fulfilled, the closer you get to Krishna, the smaller you feel. We see that in the Shikshastakam. The second verse of the Shikshastakam says, although you've given me this wonderful thing of your holy name, I can approach you to that. You've made it so easy, but I'm not doing this. So it's like a humility based on, I'm no good. It's looking at our own defects. Then the next verse, number 3, there's a different kind of humility that comes from actually getting close to Krishna. When you actually get close to Krishna, then you really feel Trinadapi Sunichena, Tororapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. You become naturally more humble than grass that's been thrown in the street, devoid of all sense of false prestige, as humble, as tolerant as a tree, ready to offer all respects to others, and not expecting any respect for oneself. Okay, so now I'm going off on too many tangents. We have to read the purport. I was just building it up. So that's how Narada Muni spent his life. And yeah, go ahead to the verse. Narada spent his life like that. And at the end of his life, he achieved his next body as lightning, the sound of lightning. Let's see, what was that? Lightning and thunder appear simultaneously. Lightning and illumination appear simultaneously. Yeah, thank you. Because the sound comes later. So he quits his body. He achieves a transcendental body befitting an associate of the personality of Godhead. I quit the body made of 5 material elements, and thus all acquired fruitive results of work, karma, stopped. Purport. I'll read through the whole purport, and then I'll go through it again bit by bit. Informed by the personality of Godhead that he would be awarded a transcendental body befitting the Lord's association, Narada got his spiritual body as soon as he quit his material body. This transcendental body is free from material affinity and invested with 3 primary transcendental qualities, namely eternity, freedom from material modes, and freedom from reactions of fruitive activities. The material body is always afflicted with the lack of these 3 qualities. A devotee's body becomes at once surcharged with the transcendental qualities as soon as he is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. It acts like the magnetic influence of a touchstone upon iron. The influence of transcendental devotional service is like that. Therefore, change of the body means stoppage of the reaction of 3 qualitative modes of material nature upon the pure devotee. There are many instances of this in the revealed scriptures. Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj and many other devotees were able to see the personality of Godhead face to face, apparently in the same body. This means that the quality of a devotee's body changes from material to transcendence. That is the opinion of the authorized Goswamis via the authentic scriptures. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that beginning from the Indra Gopa germ up to the great Indra, king of heaven, all living beings are subjected to the law of karma and are bound to suffer and enjoy the fruitive results of their own work. Only the devotee is exempt from such reactions by the causeless mercy of the Supreme Authority, the personality of Godhead. Okay, Srila Prabhupada's purport, Ki Jai, and all of you, Ki Jai. How many do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And I want to hear everybody make a little comment about this purport. And I'm just kind of wondering what might be the best way to go about this. Usually I sit with 1 or 2 people at a time, and I like to have conversations. And what I really like is when you read a purport and it just brings up more and more questions. So this purport, this is some of Prabhupada's best writing. this is his first book here in this temple. I just happened to be visiting a temple in Florida, and it's run by very young devotees, very enthusiastic, and they just started the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're reading the first verse. It's the first purport that Prabhupada wrote on his great big project of the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. And I've been through this so many times with so many people. I always like hearing what new people have to say about this. So how about one of you read the first two sentences of the purport and then make a little comment about it. What do you see in there? Maybe our host will assign everybody something.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, maybe you can just look through the names and you just pick, then you pick the names, and in that way it will be in order. Than just thinking somebody will do and nobody will do.
Oh, got it. Okay. And I've got a book here. Does everybody have books at home? So we could, or they could get the
I can share the screen.
Yeah, let's put it on gallery view and everybody. Oh yeah, split the screen. Do you want to do that? Split the screen and then put it on speaker view.
Okay, I want to start.
Oh, good. Kusha does. Go ahead and start reading.
Informed by the personality of Godhead that he will be awarded a transcendental body befitting the Lord's association. Narada got his spiritual body as soon as he quit his material body. So my question here is, Narada got his spiritual body as soon as he quit his physical body to associate with the Lord. So how do we relate it with reincarnation? Does every devotee who quit their body, God's spiritual body, to associate with the Lord? Why do we talk about taking birth again? Guru is my Lord, birth after birth. Why is it so when I get my spiritual body to be with the Lord?
Good, really good question. Yes. And he's going to address that through the purport. And that's what gets puzzling. Read the next sentence.
This transcendental body is free from material affinity and invested with three preliminary transcendental qualities, namely eternity, freedom from material modes, and freedom from reactions of fruitive activities.
Okay. So what are the three transcendental qualities, the three primary transcendental qualities? This is a little different from the usual list of transcendental qualities that we hear. I was expecting it was going to be Sat Chit Ananda. Is everyone familiar with those terms?
We know these things. And here he's talking about eternity, freedom from material modes, and freedom from reactions of fruitive activities.
Yes. Yes. Typically, when I saw eternity, I thought he was going to do that other list: eternity, bliss, and knowledge. These are the characteristics that make up the spiritual body. But here, he's doing something a little different. Eternity, freedom from material modes. And I think that, just to look at the Sanskrit on the verse, I think that's nirvana, free from the material modes. And nyapatat panchabodhikam. Panchabodhikam means freedom from reactions or fruitive activities. Or no, wait, that's arabdha, acquired, karma. Oh, arabdha karma. Okay, arabdha, acquired. Arabdha is a kind of karma. So all of his arabdha karma was nirvana, was, yeah, I'm getting more and more puzzled by this the more we look at it. That's why I was going to depend on my panel of experts here, because with all the devotees together, we're going to see things with 10 different sets of eyes. But your question is, let me see if I understand it. Does every devotee get a spiritual body as soon as they leave their body? Is that your question?
Yes, that is the question. And also, it is said that Guru is my Lord birth after birth. When a devotee gets spiritual body to be with Krishna, how does he take birth again, birth after birth?
Yes, he's going to go on and describe more about that. So let's just say a pure devotee takes birth again, someone who has a transcendental body befitting the Lord's association. And after leaving behind the material body, takes birth again. It is possible to take birth again in this world in a body which would be, well, it wouldn't be eternal, but you could take birth again in a body which is free from material modes of nature and free from the reactions of fruitive activities, because all of your karma has been stopped. And look at Narada Muni. Who is the guru of Narada Muni? Let's see. He met those sages, because there he is. He's traveling throughout the world. Who is his guru directly? It's Krishna. And so he's traveling around, but he's taken birth again. Krishna is his guru. How do you like this? Let's try this one on. Krishna is his guru because he sat in meditation. Krishna appeared in his heart. Krishna spoke to him, which was like his initiation. Actually, those, Prabhupada calls them the Bhaktivedantas that he met in his childhood. They gave him a mantra and he chanted that. So in one sense, they were his gurus. Their names are not mentioned. But look what he's doing. His next life, he's doing exactly what they had done for him. That's how you repay the guru. Whatever the guru gives you, you pass on to others. So they had taught him the value of Krishna Katha, and then he's passing it on to his disciple Vyasadeva. That's what these last couple chapters have been about, is instructing Vyasadeva. Give people a book like this that moves people the same way these people have moved me. So such a powerful message that even as a child, on my own, I knew what to do. So he left home, went to a secluded place, meditated. The Lord appeared in his heart. Then the Lord gave him a glimpse, then a little instruction. Just carry on doing what you're doing. I've done this only to increase your enthusiasm to see me. That will purify you the rest of the way, so that you can become my associate. That's what was said in the previous verses, that the Lord had told him, you're not quite ready. You're not quite pure enough to be my associate. Those whose desires are not 100% pure can hardly see me. So he's still serving his guru life after life. So did that answer your question?
The question is, when one takes spiritual body and goes to Krishna to associate with Krishna.
Yes.
Krishna is not in the material world. He lives in Goloka Vrindavan. So how is one taking birth in the material world, life after life?
Yeah. Krishna is everywhere, and service to Krishna is everywhere, and bhakti is everywhere. That was described in the second chapter of the Bhagavatam. It said that devotion to Krishna is available everywhere. Prabhupada quotes this. He draws a lot from this verse. Ahoituki apratihata. Devotion is ahoituki. There's no external Nothing outside can affect bhakti. Nothing can disrupt it once you have it. Apratihata, and it's unbroken. So any part of the world, in Africa, Prabhupada was really emphatic about this. Bhakti is not just for people in India. It's for people all over the world. And we just read one place where he said, any part of the universe. So he's talking about even other planets in this universe. People can engage in bhakti. No one is excluded. And when you engage in bhakti, you are associating with the Lord. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Once you're with Krishna, going back to Goloka Vrindavan, there is his realm. Still, that's service to Krishna, lifetime. The idea is that the prayer is, I don't care if I get to go to Goloka Vrindavan. I'm ready to serve you lifetime after lifetime, if that's what you want. It doesn't mean that you have to stay in the material world lifetime after lifetime. So how does that, Kusha?
Yeah, that is a very nice answer to that.
That's okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, thanks for bringing it up. That's how this stuff comes up, is through discussions. And I live in the country. It takes me a while to formulate a thought. I'm used to taking my sweet time, and I'm used to talking with people until we're done. That's the way we do things in the country. But I will hold to the schedule and try to complete this within an hour. So let's move on. Somebody read the next two sentences of the purport.
A devote, I think is a devotee's body becomes. Is it from there?
The material body is always afflicted.
The material body is always afflicted with the lack of these three qualities. A devotee's body becomes at once surcharged with the transcendental quality as soon as he is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. It acts like a magnetic influence of a touchstone upon iron. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So what do you see in there?
Yeah, it's very clear how the body, the material body, automatically transforms into spiritual body. Here is talking about the transformation of the body into spiritual body. Just they gave an example like touchstone. So that is how devotional service transform matter into spirit. Although it's very complicated how to understand that, because we are so used to material things. Even sometimes when we offer our food to Krishna and we call it prasadam, still we cannot understand how it becomes prasadam because we still see the matter. So here is saying how the devotional service transform matter into spirit. So I don't know if you can throw more light on how we can perceive matter as spirit, becoming spiritual, even when we can still feel the matter.
Mm. I like that. Good point. You brought up a really good point. And Rupa Goswami talks about that. He says that Iha yasya harir dasye karmana manasa gira nikelashvapya vastasu jivan mukta sa uchate. Someone whose body is always engaged in serving Krishna using karmana, their activities, manasa, their thoughts, gira, their speech, nikelashvapya vastasu jivan mukta sa uchate. So even though they're in the material world, they are to be considered jivan mukta, which means a liberated soul. That's what makes a spiritual body, is just by engaging our body in those three ways. And those are the three things that we have any control over: our activities, our thoughts, and our speech. And Bhakti Yoga is all about doing that. We're practicing to make our bodies spiritual. And by practice, and we just read a really interesting purport in the Chaitanya Charitamrita where Prabhupada gives the example. Does anybody here touch type, taking typing lessons? Do you know how to do that? Have you ever done that?
No.
Okay, I can only see one face here. I don't know how everybody else is doing. But Prabhupada,
if you want to see all the faces, you want time to time, you will get to see them.
okay, gallery view. I'll hit gallery. Oh, duh. I've got control over that. Okay, good. So Prabhupada talks about touch typing and compares it to bhakti. This is a really interesting thing. If you've ever learned touch typing, you have your home keys. You put your first finger on J and your first finger on F. You got little bumps there. And then first you practice just typing words with your 8 fingers on those home keys. These are just nonsense things. It doesn't mean anything, but you just practice till your fingers learn those keys, and then you start moving to the other keys. Then you can start typing actual words. And then Prabhupada said, after you learn the technique, then you can type without even looking and without even thinking. You think of the words and you're typing them. And he says, bhakti is just like that. At first, we're pushing ourselves. Now I'm going to read the Bhagavatam. Now I'm going to chant Hare Krishna on my beads. But he says, by practice, eventually, your mind is always going to be thinking of Krishna. You're always going to be serving Krishna. You're always going to be talking about Krishna. So first, we have to push ourselves to do it. So it's by practice. Let's see. Gallery view. All right. Wow, I'm seeing all of these people. This is great. I got all these new friends. And let's see, what did we just read? A devotee's body becomes at once surcharged with the transcendental qualities as soon as he is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. So just like by typing, it's by practice. And as you practice, after a while you get so you can type without even thinking. You're just composing the words in your head. It's really wonderful. If you haven't learned how to touch type yet, do it. It doesn't take that long. And then you don't have to look at the keys to type. It frees things up. Also, do we have any mridanga players in this group? Anybody play mridanga?
Yeah, yes, I can try.
Okay, all right. If you study the technique, if you take some of the lessons and you learn tere keta, you learn the exercises with it, your hands start to become free and they can just really fly. And the music that you hear in your head, you can play with your hands on that drum. It's like magic. So by practice, you can do this. And by practice, you can come to this stage of becoming Jivan Mukta Sa Uchyate. You practice, at least for some time every day, only thinking of Krishna, only serving Krishna, only speaking about Krishna. So we start off just a little bit every day doing that. This time of day I'm setting aside just for talking about Krishna. Gradually that becomes habitual. It becomes your real nature. And then all of these things that, who was it that just read? I forgot the name. I didn't see the name. Okay, everybody's muted, sorry.
That's Kavikanapura.
What was it again?
Kavikanapura Das.
Kanapura, okay. Thank you. The part that he read. The devotee's body becomes at once surcharged with the transcendental qualities as soon as he is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. So as soon as we do this, it starts working on us. It acts like the influence of a touchstone upon iron. So who would like to read the next 2 sentences?
Can I?
Go ahead.
Can I? The influence of transcendental devotional service is like that. Therefore, change of the body mean stoppage of the reaction of the three qualitative modes of material nature upon the pure devotee. There are many instances of this in the revealed scripture.
Okay, so the influence of devotional service. So what do you see in there? Go ahead. Do you want to say anything about those sentences?
It's just like you have just finished explaining that by practicing, we become transformed in nature, in thought, in words, and in our action, and thereby the influence of the modes of material nature, even though they are there, we are not affected by them. We don't feel it.
Oh, good. I like how you said that. Even though they're there, we won't get affected by them. Have any of you ever gone in a sailboat? Have you ever been sailing? I went out with a friend's little tiny sailboat, and if the wind's blowing this way, he could go this way. I thought, how are you doing this? You can just move those sails around and you can go in any direction. He could go against the wind just by moving the sails. And I thought, wow, that's just like the modes of nature. You can be in a place that's totally mode of ignorance, but so the wind's blowing this way, but you don't have to go that way. You can go against it just by moving the sails. Sometimes we'll see a place totally passion and ignorance, and just by seeing it, we can watch like those people don't look happy. We can learn from it, and that can help us to notice our own passion and ignorance, and so we can grow, we can learn in any circumstance. But what Ganga Prasad mentioned is they don't touch the devotee at all. We don't get affected by the modes of nature. And how is that possible? How does that come about? Why would that be, Ganga Prasad?
Because of our absorption in the practices of devotional activities.
Okay, and why would that rise us above the modes of nature?
Because Krishna promised that the Mahatmas are under the protection of his internal divine energy. So when this energy leaves us, the other energy takes over.
Oh, good. You're referring to Bhagavad Gita. That's a good reference. Mahatmanas tu mamparta, daivim prakritim ashritam. That's a good reference. All right. And then another reference is in chapter 14. Do you know that one? Chapter 14 is about the three modes of nature. And Arjuna asks, how does one rise above the influence of the three modes of nature? And do you know what Krishna's answer is?
1426.
1426, yes. Who said that?
Shalika Prabhu.
Shalika, thank you. Do you want to read it? Do you have it handy? Do you know it?
I can go to it. Mamchayo Vabicharina Bhakti Yogina Sevate Saguna Samatiyatan Brahma Bhuyaya Kapate. And the translation is, I'm just going there.
Those who serve me with unalloyed devotion rise above the three modes of material nature and comes to the level of Brahman.
Yeah, he says that just by serving him, you rise above the nature, above the influence of the modes of nature. This is really interesting. What a powerful person Krishna is. Just by talking about him, by serving him, we become elevated. And just a little side note, we should all be something like that. So when someone mentions our name, they feel purified. There are some names, when you say them, you just feel like the whole conversation's gone down just by mentioning this person's name. You don't want to be like that. But the humility of the devotee, we just finished reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We have a reading group. We meet every night for an hour and a half, and we read through the Chaitanya Charitamrita 2 times. Krishnadas Kaviraj at the end, he says, Isn't it amazing that I've written this book? I'm really unqualified, but the subject matter is so good that I'm sure everyone will be purified by this. As for me, I'm so sinful. I'm such an awful person. If anyone just says my name, they lose all of their pious credit. He's he's saying, I'm one of those names that when people say that name, everyone says, yuck. Why did you bring that guy up? So there are some people, when you mention their names, some devotees, you feel purified. You just think of Prabhupada. There's a book that was written about a devotee, and this devotee said, thinking of this devotee is my daily sadhana. It was, anyway, I can't remember who it was. It was someone like 200 years ago. All right, so just by serving Krishna, one's body becomes surcharged with transcendental qualities. They rise above the influence of the modes of nature. And as Gargamuni pointed out, Krishna promises in the Bhagavad Gita, what chapter is that? Chapter 9, isn't it? Mahatmanas tumam bharta daivim prakritim ashrita. And the devotees are under the protection of the divine energy. All right, so let's read 2 more sentences. Who would like to be next?
I wish Mataji can do that. Ladies, please come out.
Yeah, can you mark where she should read?
Hare Krishna.
Hi, Krishna. Is that Saraswati?
Yes, Prabhu. From Dhruva Maharaj.
Yeah, read the sentence before that, because that introduces this.
There are many instances of this in the revealed scriptures. Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj and many other devotees were able to see the personality of Godhead face to face, apparently in the same body.
Read one more sentence, because they're tied together.
This means that the quality of a devotee's body changes from material to transcendence.
Okay. What do you have to say about that, Dhruva and Prahlad?
What I got from this portion of the reading is that there were devotees who, even though they had not yet passed and left their bodies, were still able to see the personality.
We are not seeing the speaker. We need to see the speaker. Remove the screen from the first, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
That even though Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj hadn't yet passed, they were still able to see the personality of Godhead because of how immersed they were in devotional service and how much love they had for Krishna. So although we may not be able to do that in this lifetime, it does mean that maybe in a next lifetime, we might be able to have enough love of God that we can see him face to face.
All right. And see, what did it say about them? They were able to see the personality face to face, apparently in the same body. There are many instances of this in the revealed scriptures. So what are there? There are many instances of what? Let's go back a little bit. Oh, devotional service. Transforming the qualities of the devotee's body. So what else do you see anything more in there? Sorry to put you on the spot.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we were reading this last night, and the more you read it, the more you see in there.
So I have a question.
Okay.
So it says that their body changed from material to transcendence. Is it because they were such exalted personalities that their body physically changed, or like their mind changed and they became transcendental?
Oh,
Kind of.
I like that. I like that question. That's really good. I'm going to open that up to our panel of experts here because we've got so many. And I know everybody has something to say. So if you feel really inspired to address that, anybody.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. That was a very nice point she brought. She was saying whether the mind change to influence the body or the body change to transcendence. So it's a very, very deep or complicated topic because, yes, according to the Bible, it is mentioned in the Bible that the one who sees God will die. It means that the material body cannot comprehend the vision of God. But here, these devotees, they performed devotional service and they were able to see God in the same body. Means that body is not same again because just by seeing the Lord, it has become completely purified. Just like in the case of Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. When Krishna wanted to show him the universal form, he has to give him a different eye to see. So it means that to see Krishna, something must change about you. That is my own understanding about that. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Transcendental eyes to see the Lord. And Krishna is all around us all the time. And we don't see him. There's a lot of things that we don't see. And what does it mean to have a transcendental body befitting an associate of the personality of Godhead? It's like a whole different dimension. There's things going on that we don't fully understand. And what does it mean to have a transcendental body? He talks about the impediments here. I'm going to go off on another little tangent, and then we'll bring it back around to Dhruva and Prahlad and Saraswati. Where are you, Saraswati?
I'm in Dublin, Ohio. I think you actually know my sister, Sita Priya. She went.
Yeah. I was thinking you look familiar.
Yeah.
What are you doing up this time of day?
I'm trying to come to class a little more regularly to.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, connect with me on Facebook, and you can join our evening class too if you like.
Okay.
Sita Priya. Oh, we traveled on the bus tour together.
Yeah, she's always wanted me to go on it, but I'm just waiting for the right time.
Okay. Yeah. What wasn't this year?
No.
So anyway, about transcendental body. What are the things that hold us back? He talks about those here. Well, the transcendental qualities are eternity, freedom from material modes, and freedom from reactions or fruitive activities. Some of the other things that impede our body are, and we're facing that right now, a difference of space and time. This is really fun that I'm able to talk with people on the other side of the world almost instantaneously. This is really, really cool because of technology, and we can hear each other. And the time difference. Well, anyway, let's deal with space. So first of all, if we were real yogis, if we were really in our spiritual bodies, without the encumbrance of modes of nature and the physical restrictions, we would be able to communicate with each other because there is no space between us. It doesn't. So just try to wrap your head around that. That's part of being transcendental. And then another thing is time. There's no influence of time for the spirit soul. What else? Anyone can think of any other impediments. I think those are the two main ones, time and space. Let's see if I'm leaving anything out. We also desire things that are limited. And so when we give up these limited desires, we only have the unlimited desire of service to Krishna, and we identify ourselves as spiritual, then it puts us on an entirely different platform. And yogis actually are able to transcend this stuff by practice of yoga. They can talk to people in the past, in the future. Prabhupada talks about Vyasadeva being Trikalagya, knowing all 3 phases of time, and being able to go traveling on the rays of the sun, and go to the sun planet, and then go traveling on those rays to other places. Like, what? How can that be? So in similar ways, I mean, these are just material things. Yoga siddhis, traveling on sun rays to go anywhere in the universe. What to speak of what Krishna can do? This is multi-dimensional. So in order to see that, and somebody brought up Arjuna being given the eyes to see the universal form. Universal form is all around. And I see somebody has their background screen. Who is that? Whatever your name is there. You got Krishna and Arjuna with the universal form winding back down. Okay. Yeah, I see that picture there. So that's, yeah, Krishna can give that vision. He can give it to anybody. Okay, so Saraswati read that. Let's get back to this sentence.
So, from what Saraswati have said,
yeah,
in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 8, that's where Krishna said, "But you cannot see me with your present eyes, therefore I give you divine eyes, behold my mystic opulence."
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot see God if Krishna doesn't really give you that permission to see him.
Yes.
So 11:8 Bhagavad Gita, he mentioned it. You can't see me if I give you this grace. So all this devotional service and hearing also is a kind of singing. But here in Kurukshetra, Krishna specifically mentioned, you cannot see me. Arjuna was already a devotee, till Krishna gave him the divine vision to see.
Well, he was seeing Krishna in Krishna's real form, his most
materially,
intimate.
yes.
But he was saying, you can't see this manifestation of the universal form without my giving you the vision. So yeah, both things are there. That for us, he's not going to show himself to us until he chooses to. And yes, we're entirely dependent on Krishna's mercy. And our practice is just the practice of putting ourselves in front of that mercy and just showing up every day, chanting and saying, here I am, I'm trying. Hello, hello, hi Krishna. I'm just sitting here waiting for you. How may I serve you? And that's all we're doing. We're just sitting in front of him. How may I serve you? And it talks about, in the Bhagavatam, there's this brief description of Vaikuntha, and it says, the women there, they're all goddesses of fortune, Lakshmis. I mean, they're the ones we pray to. Give me a little money so I can pay my bills. They control all of the wealth. They have everything. And yet, although they are so exalted and so opulent beyond what anyone in this world can have, they're engaged in sweeping the palaces. Instead of hiring servants to do it, they're sweeping the palaces in Vaikuntha, even though there's no dust. They just want to do some service for Krishna, anything at all. So that's our job, that's our practice. And what's interesting is Dhruva really had his intentions for approaching the Lord were material. And so that story is there just to show us, even if our intentions are not pure, the result will purify us. We will be purified just by approaching Krishna. Krishna is so powerful. And then, let's see, Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj and many other devotees were able to see the personality of Godhead. Oh man, we're running out of time. So let's read a couple more sentences. Let's get through this report the second time through. Who wants to read now?
Sadi Prabhu, please. Your hand is up.
Well, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Well, do you want us to read of that? I had a question on what you just said.
All right.
But I think you're also concerned about time, so if you want me to read, I will.
I'm fine.
It seems you are friends.
I'm fine. I've just. I'm fine. This is what I do all day long.
All right. Okay. Then let me ask my question. Krishna Prabhu was making a reference to Krishna giving the divine eyes to Arjuna in order for Arjuna to see his universal form. And Krishna told Arjuna that nobody before you has ever seen this form. So in other words, Arjuna was the first person to see this form. Krishna also revealed his universal form to his mother, Mother Yashoda.
Yes.
He also revealed his universal form to Bhishma on his bed on the bed of arrows. So I just want to know, are these universal forms quite different from each other?
Okay, that's a fair question. And I think Prabhupada, he mentions that in the purports to that section. He does talk about Mother Yashoda seeing that form, and the Acharyas talk about it in other places as well. And yes, they are, each one's a little bit different. Like the universal form that Arjuna saw, these would be things that Arjuna would be interested in seeing. Arjuna's about to fight the battle. Now, just about everything he saw in that universal form was destruction and soldiers running into the mouths of Krishna. Now, that's not all that goes on. Arjuna could have seen fluffy bunny rabbits bouncing around, and that goes on too, but there's no mention of that. All he saw was everyone rushing like, what did it say? Like waves in the ocean, rushing into the mouths. And those mouths were chewing up those soldiers, and some of their heads were getting stuck between the teeth. It said, it's a pretty explicit description. So this is for Arjuna's benefit. Arjuna saw what he wanted to see there. So everybody sees what they want to see. When Mother Yashoda looked in the mouth of Krishna, she saw the realm of Vrindavan. She saw herself taking care of Krishna. So yeah, each one's a little different. He also showed it to Dhritarashtra, who was blind his whole life. And he said, you want to fight with the Pandavas? I'm on their side. Let me show you what I can do. And he showed it to Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. And Duryodhana said, just some kind of magic trick. For the time, he was impressed. But then when he got away from it, he thought, Krishna just showed some magic trick. Who's Krishna? We don't care for that. Our army's bigger. They don't stand a chance. So, yeah, each one was a little bit different. Thank you. Would you like to read a couple sentences?
Okay, where do I start?
Yeah.
Okay. That is the opinion of the authorized Goswamis via the authentic scriptures. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that beginning from the Indra Gopa germ up to the great Indra, king of heaven, all living beings are subjected to the law of karma and are bound to suffer and enjoy the fruitive results of their own work.
But yeah, go ahead, read the last sentence because that's part of the
Only the
shloka.
devotee is exempt from such a reaction by the causeless mercy of the Supreme Authority, the Personality of God. Hare Krishna.
Okay. What do you see in there, Sahadev?
Oh, Srila Prabhupada made reference to this in the Brahma Samhita. So that's songs sung by Lord Brahma, uh, describing that from Indra Gopa, from the insignificant germ, all the way up to the king of heaven, Indra. Everybody is suffering due to the interactions of these three modes of material nature. That one who surrenders to Krishna easily rises above the modes. Reading this to me, it's very beautiful and easy. Just surrender to Krishna and you rise above the modes. But surrendering to Krishna is not as easy as it's said. Because some of us have been trying to surrender to Krishna, but we haven't fully surrendered to Krishna, so we don't experience these things. Narada Muni is saying, Srila Prabhupada is saying. I remember some time ago when Bhaktivedanta Maharaj will come to our yatra. He expressed his appreciation to all of us that we've understood that material life is like chewing the chewed. So we're giving it up. We don't want to practice material activities. We want to take to spirituality. And we are not yet tasting the bhava of spirituality. So it's like we've lived on both fronts. Materially, we've given up so much. Spiritually, what we're trying to pursue, we haven't yet attained it, but we still have the determination and eagerness to continue practicing, hoping that at some point we probably might taste the spiritual taste that the scriptures are giving us. So it's not so easy, and I would like to hear from you some of the techniques and strategies that one can truly surrender to Krishna. And like I was saying, I've been reading lots of your writings because we are friends on Facebook. But I did not.
Oh.
Yeah, we are friends on Facebook. I do not use my initiated name. I use my common name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Send me a note so you'll stand out. I'll recognize you. Okay, we're running short on time, so you asked a good question. And I also wanted to address what you said, Bhakti Tirtha Swami said. He always would say such interesting things. He would take all of this, massive philosophy and then put it in a little sentence that would hit you right between the eyes. And one thing I've heard about that is it's almost like we're standing on two different boats. And at some point, you have to lift your leg out of one boat and put it into the other. It's very uncomfortable to be in two boats. When one of them starts moving away, you have to choose quickly. But it's not so easy how to be surrendered to Krishna. I would just say, just keep doing what we're doing. Make lifelong plans for doing this and make it reasonably comfortable. We had a discussion a couple days ago. I'm going to be I hope I don't mess up anyone's life by saying this. This could be controversial, but I'll quote Prabhupada saying, sense gratification is like salt. You need just a little bit. to make your life palatable. Without any salt in the meal, it's hard to digest. And we need a little bit in our life. Now, another talk I've heard is that a devotee wants to be like salt. When there's a preparation, nobody says it's really nicely salted. You only notice the salt when there's too much or not enough. That's the only time anyone says anything about salt. So that's kind of how we want to make our sense gratification in life. You have just enough so you're not hankering like for cookies or something really tiny and insignificant. You have enough cookies, you have enough, a comfortable bed to sleep in, just the basic necessities. So you're not always thinking, my life is miserable. Why did I do this? You have the basic things covered, but you don't go overboard. You want to make desires for sense gratification go away. And sometimes that means to take a reasonable amount. Sometimes I see devotees just go too far with it. And as a result, if you're fasting and all day long, you're just thinking, I'm fasting, I'm hungry, I wish I could eat. And you're just thinking about all the things that you eat on all the other days of the week. You're not doing it right. But also, if you fast regularly, after a while, it doesn't mean anything to you. So don't go too far and don't live too comfortably. You got to push yourself a little bit. So there's always this balancing act of how much sense gratification, how much comfort to take in life. Push yourself a little bit. Right now I'm on the road, and to be on the road, it's a trade-off. You lose a little comfort, but you gain so much by being on the road, and you meet people, you have fun, you learn lessons. Okay, so how to completely surrender? Surrender to Krishna doesn't mean just giving up sense gratification. It means embracing Krishna. And the best way I've found is by discussions. Chanting is really important. Prabhupada has so much faith in the power of chanting. And so that goes on all the time, following the rules that you've taken on, the vows that you've taken. And but I found that discussion, Srimad Bhagavatam, discussing about Krishna, there's something interesting. I talk with college students, I talk with neurologists, I talk with all kinds of people, and I learn something from everybody. Neurologists say they've studied the different parts of the brain. When you're speaking, there are points in the brain that light up. And they say, I've got an idea. Here's what we're going to say. And so then that message is sent to the tongue. So they're observing people speaking. And then they found that when they really get into the conversation, there's parts where no part of the brain lights up. It's just speaking. They're bypassing the brain. And where that speech is coming from, they don't know. People are speaking from their heart. So I found that when we discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, there are times when I don't know where these words are coming from. I just find myself speaking, and this is like the most entertaining thing for me and for everybody else. And I don't know who's saying these things through me. And it's like you're watching Krishna directly speak through you. And that is the best kind of darshan. And that's what surrendering to Krishna means. When we stay always quoting Prabhupada here, and how many times has he quoted authorities in this? He quoted Brahma Samhita, he quoted Rupa Goswami, he refers to Prahlad, to Dhruva, throughout the whole thing. He's everywhere, he's quoting from different authorities. And so that's what surrender means. You keep reciting, you keep repeating what you've heard so you know it's authorized. And at some point, Krishna just speaks through you. So that's why I like to give everybody a chance to speak, because I don't want to hog the whole thing. And when other people speak, then I see like, wow, Krishna is saying something really good through you. So that's my advice. I like to keep it fun. You read my stuff on Facebook, so you know. That's really important. And one more bit of advice is to appreciate it in others. When you see others, with Krishna acting through others, then recognize it, appreciate it, comment on it, thank them for it. Encourage everybody. We're just practicing, and as we, just like Prabhupada gave the example of typing, you learn to type, eventually you're just typing without thinking. And you begin to make the right decision more and more frequently. And then it becomes, okay, here's the 3 stages. We go from unconscious incompetence, okay, to conscious incompetence. Well, there's 4 stages. Then to conscious competence, and then unconscious competence. Did you follow that? Everybody get that? So that's how we surrender. And one more thing, I get to brag now. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm going to be 64. And so I can say that throughout my life, like I have all of these years, 1975, I was 18 years old. I joined the temple. I stopped all sinful activities. No more intoxication. I was a brahmachari for 10 years. Vegetarian, of course. And then I've taken on chanting japa every day, 16 rounds since 1975. I can say that in front of all of you. Every day. Somehow I did that. So, and then I got married, and I'm still with my wife, 1985. So this will make 36 years we've been together. And so I can say in front of all of you, truthfully, I've followed everything that I said I would follow. So if somebody like me can do it, you guys can do it too. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'll leave you with this. Anything I can do, you can do better. How do you like that?
Thank you very much, Prabhu. We really appreciate us. We appreciate your lecture. And there's one thing I want to ask, Prabhu. You say you have a group where you study together. What is the qualification for joining that group? I'm highly interested.
Okay. It is, we just meet on Zoom. I don't have a name for it. We just read, right now we're reading Nectar of Devotion. We meet every night at 7 o'clock, our time. So right now it's 6 o'clock. So whatever your time difference is, you guys do the math. I don't know, is that possible? I don't know what time of day that will be for you.
Is it noon? Almost, that is noon for us. Almost
7 o'clock?
No,
7 o'clock?
that will be like 1 o'clock in the morning for you. It will not be very convenient.
Okay. We want 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not going to work.
Yeah.
Saraswati is the only one here that is in the right time zone.
You are not qualified according to the time.
Yeah. What time is it there right now? What time is it for you?
After 12, 18 after 12 noon.
12, okay, all right. Yeah, this is a little hard for me, 5 o'clock in the morning, but it was well worth it. I hope I get to do this again and get to know everybody.
This is a new, it's a very nice experience that we have gotten to know through the way you make everybody to participate in the reading. Is so nice experience. I can imagine when people study together, how much enjoyment that you derive together. I really wish to be in that, but I'm not qualified due to the time difference. So
You're always not qualified.
If it wasn't my lecture, it
By the
was
way.
your lecture.
Thank you very much. So we want all the devotees to please let us unmute ourselves and chant powerful Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to appreciate Prabhu for coming. We really appreciate you, Prabhu. And also we wish you a very wonderful birthday tomorrow.
Yes.
So I don't know how we can really be part of the celebration tomorrow, but today we will send a powerful Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to appreciate that.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram,
Happy birthday, Prabhu. Happy birthday, Prabhu. We wish you many, many wonderful Krishna consciousness.
Okay. Look for me on Facebook, send a message.
Yes,
and
Prabhu, I will look for you on Facebook also.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Haribo.
All right. Haribo.
Feel so strongly that mantra is the answer to the turmoil and the disconnect between people's hearts and their external lives.
I made close to $170,000 in my first year. Over time, it became clear to me that money doesn't really buy happiness, doesn't really buy true love. I tried to bring a certain element of humanity in a place that was all about money.
Eco Valley Foundation is mainly dealing with environmental, economic, and social sustainability.
I felt like I wanted to come back and teach in the Gurukul because I had such a nice experience here. All my friends grew up here. We all grew up as one big family, one big community.
There's no satisfaction greater than being an instrument of God's grace to people in need on all levels. We're grateful to these children that they allow us the highest privilege of serving them and being blessed by doing so.
Composition of the community is worldwide, and we're all here for the same purpose, to develop our own spiritual lives.
You go in the playground here and you're going to see, a Russian kid, a Chinese kid, an Aussie, a Bengali. They have this unity.
We should be always having a divine party at every moment of our lives, everywhere we go.
We want to see everyone happy.